Hey, this is John here. I just wanted to show you a little footage from that day that I had to make that detour because of the ice storm. So I was up coming from here in North Platte, and I was going to go this way, heading east on this blue route here. But then up in here, I started getting hit by this ice storm up here, and then it looked like there was a lot of ice storms like in this area, and then snow and everything. So I decided instead just to go this way south instead, which was I don't know if it was much difference in distance or time or anything, but anyway, it may have been. So anyway, so I just headed straight down this way through this section, Highway 283, and before I did that, I pulled over in this parking lot here, just an old abandoned gas station, and I hung out for a little bit, and I made that other video that you may have already seen, and here I am in the parking lot here. Here's a good thing about having a stealth camper, fully equipped with heat and everything. I was driving back east from North Platte, and then I got all this freezing rain on the window, and then just iced up, totally iced up, and then I pulled off here on the side of the road and pulled into this little spot. And now I think I'll just wait here for a little bit and let things clear out. And plus, I just saw that there was some work that I could that with my job that would be good if I did right now. I got it, so I can just yeah. Ooh, it's icy here. Ooh, it's like skating right up the ground. Driving south on, I think this is US 289 in Nebraska anyway, and get away from the ice storm. It's good to see that this water's staying, even though it's kind of sloppy, at least it's staying liquid on the windshield. You can't use we don't want to use the windshield wipers too much because it's so iced up, but anyway, yeah, it was, like one thing is like, yeah, my engine's been kind of, it's running cold because probably what it is, I guess this is almost always what causes it. I guess this might be the only cause pretty much, that the, because the thermostat's stuck open, so it's making the, anyway, so that's usually what happens. And then so, which usually I didn't think would be a problem, because I mean the thing has enough heat once you get driving, but you know, maybe there is other safety things, maybe as far as efficiency, having your engine not run as hot as it should. But anyway, but I found one consequence was like that it wasn't, the air coming out of the frost wasn't hot enough to melt the ice on the windshield, so I kept having it, I had to stop a couple times to scrape the window and stuff anyway. So then I found something, it was like this, I'll show it a little later, but there's this, I found something that I was able to, it was like the lid off one of those, I bought like these Sterilite containers the other day, and I had to put underneath my futon, and then, but then it turned out they were a little too tall with those lids on, and so I didn't use the lids. I was going to just throw them away when I get a chance, but then I was able to put that in that slot in front of the radiator there, and I was able to use one of my tools in my inverter, because I needed to cut that thing down to make it a little smaller, so I had that oscillating tool, which around here someplace, but anyway, it's like that, anyways, it's a little saw, it's like, anyways, basically what it is, and so I was able to use that using my inverter, you know, so that was a handy thing to cut that down to size and then fit it in there, so that was a handy thing to have. I mean, I guess, you know, I would have found some way to cut it with like a knife or something if it wasn't for that, but you know, but that made it a lot easier. So okay, so we're in the town of Elwood, so I'm hoping as soon as, from what I could tell from the radar, it looked like probably if I drive like maybe another, you know, 20 miles, I don't know how far exactly I'll have to drive, but it looks like eventually, if I could, it shouldn't be too far before I'll get out of like the area where the ice hit. I wish that satellite thing would have showed me, I'm sure there's a way you could do it, but I wanted to see like, if I could have seen like, you know, go back in time and show the weather pattern, so I could have seen like where the ice had hit. But anyway, but I know if I go far enough south, eventually I'll get out of that. As I'm driving here, I just still note some of the nature. Those are some pretty cool looking hills there. Look at those interesting shapes. I mean, it just shows that, yeah, the shape of the land is going to be really dependent on what type of soils below it or whatever, you know, like where I live in Duluth, it's real hard rock and stuff, so the bedrock is really close to the surface. rocky outcroppings and stuff, and then it makes a certain shape even where the rocks aren't sticking out. And then you can see the interesting shape there of you know, that's sand. So obviously sand can be moved around real easily, and then everything erode and everything. And then, you know, the grass kind of gives it some. The grass is, I guess, about the only thing really keeping it together. And then which I think actually wasn't that, like, yeah, in the Dust Bowl. Although I don't know if that was the sand hills, but it was still an area that was kind of dusty and stuff where they needed it to be, because what it is, they started like planting all that wheat there and getting rid of all that. That's a neat looking valley right there. It's like, it's kind of like the Badlands, but it's like the sand type stuff. Anyway, so whenever they started planting all that, like Oklahoma and Texas areas that hadn't been farmed before, that was like all grasslands, and then you know, it's a pretty dry area, but you know, but there was a certain period of time where they had a good amount of rain for a few years, and they kind of thought that somehow they had this weird theory, thinking it was like that somehow they were going to change the weather pattern by being there. And anyway, then eventually, then when things dried out, you didn't have all that wheat doesn't, like, it's not going to hold down the soil like the way that the grass would, and plus the grass it takes a long time to build up and to make a thick layer like that. And then that's why you had those massive Dust Bowls. And you know, there's still, you know, it's a debate. Some people think like they never should have really farmed that area at all, you know. And then there's the thing too, where part of why it hasn't really happened again is because now they've been taking all this water out of those aquifers, but they say that eventually that's going to run out. That might be like, you know, a giant Dust Bowl once they don't have all that kind of artificial water in there. You know, it's like non-renewable water, so it's in the ground, but it doesn't get renewed. So once it's gone, it's gone. That's another neat looking area. Maybe this would foul the definition of Badlands, I think, because they talk about that being like canyons and stuff. So I guess it is like those Badlands you see like in North Dakota, and it's basically you have a bunch of these. Well, it's probably not quite like that. Yeah, those Badlands are like these really, probably these deeper canyons where it's really hard. It's almost impossible to find your way around. They called it like Badlands because they said it was a bad land to walk across, because it's like, you know, you kept running all these like canyons and stuff, and you had to keep trying to find your way around. Anyway, neat looking landscape, which I guess I wouldn't have seen if I wouldn't have taken this detour. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be crossing into Kansas in a little bit. The roads have most ice has gone away, but there's still some patches where you see it. One lady said that it was at the gas station, said that the ice went down to Norton, so we'll see how that Norton, I just looked at that real quick. I think it was a little bit of a line. Looks like actually the grass all of a sudden got kind of different looking too. It's more like this red color.